Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you, strategy members, Power Gifting. Thank you for taking the time to join Bernard and I again this morning and this evening. We have begun our recording to share this out with our community, as this is why we come together to link arms one by one, build our larger community stronger with smaller community groups. So as I come in this morning, each of you know Coach Bernard, and we are here to brainstorm, to hear your challenges, to hear what your goals are, and to point you in the direction of, are you in a group? Are you in a group yet? Have you reached out to that leader? So let us begin. I'd like to go, it's only a few of us, I'd like to go around the circle, around the table, introduce yourselves, where you're from, and if you would be so kind to share. You've got 1 minute each, one challenge and one goal. How about you begin, Coach?
Yep, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so I think everyone in this group has got the one challenge of bringing people in. And I find if you're looking to bring a lot of people in, it's hard work. If you just focus at one person at a time, it's easier. Not easy, but easier. As I always say, everyone can afford $8, the cost of cup coffee and a muffin. So as long as you focus on that, it's easier.
Great, thank you. Arend, you next. Want to unmute? Thank you.
I said I can only concur with what Bernard said. I think one of the difficult things is how to approach people. Yes, there are so many different ways, but people that have obviously been in different platforms have a lot more experience than the newcomers. Okay. Yeah, and I think they can help those people to grow this business much faster. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And what is your one goal? Your current goal right now relating to power gifting?
Well, I firmly believe that this is a community thing, and I'd like to build a community. That's it, that we can all move forward together.
Excellent. Thank you, Arend. Linda?
Yes, I'm trying to get the word out. A lot of people don't know what's happening. So I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. Last night there was a lot of TikTok going, and I'm getting a lot of go on that. So hopefully after a while, people will look at it and want to join. So
fantastic. Fantastic. You can show me. And what is your one goal for power gifting over the short term?
To be able to help one another and to have love in our heart and have patience with the ones that don't know what they're doing.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. Awesome. Elizabeth, are you able to speak? No mic? Okay, you can put it in the chat if you're able to, Elizabeth. Thank you. We'd love to hear from you. Festina? One challenge and one goal.
I don't have challenges. I've got one goal and I am focused on that at the moment, and that is to get 100 people to join Power 24/7 and to bring them to this group too, so that they can get excited about leaping, and to bring in 25 people who would like to leap as well. So that's my focus. I don't have time to think about challenges at the moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. So Hal,
Yeah, I mean, it been, one of the things I wanted to find out, like what Linda said was a good idea, like approaching on Facebook and TikTok, and I think that'd be a quite a good idea actually, right? So people actually can see you. You can actually put the presentation on there, and would that be a good idea? I mean, what do you think?
it's quite long. TikTok, you
Is it?
have to be on for a very short time. You could take one aspect of the power gifting. You could explain what gifting economy is. You can take about a minute
Yeah.
at the most, and it's very important that you speak and that you're live. That's very effective. Um, Sharing on Instagram is a bit of a photo with some words, but probably no more than 5 words. Facebook, you can have a little bit of a video, but a condensed one. You can have a link to the website of Power Gifting on your Facebook post, and we can go through that in our small group on how to do those kind of posts, and we can
Yeah,
share it
that'd be a
out.
good idea.
But
One
yeah, there is
one
some
other
strategies. Mhm. For social
one
media.
other thing, a long time ago, Sandra, I don't know whether I mentioned to you, I used to sell Kirby's. Have you heard of Kirby? It's a vacuum
No,
cleaner in the USA.
no.
It's a quite big organization there. And those days, I'm talking about maybe 30, 40 years ago, those vacuum cleaners were used to cost to the household nearly 500, 400 pounds. And that was a lot of money those days. And one of the things we were trained to do is, even if you go to demonstrate or product into people's houses and they're not interested, they can't afford it, we used to give them a card, right? With the tell them, if you have friends or families who do you think that might be interested in, like, this product, having a look at this product, and they used to give you names of friends and all this lot. And
That's
you
excellent.
you and by the end of like maybe 1 year or so, I mean, I used to have so many people that I couldn't actually call back, right? And hello, so can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know whether that be a good idea or not. I mean, you can approach people, and somewhere down the line you will still get negativity. Or I don't know how to use a wallet. I don't know how to make a wallet address and all this. I know we can help them, but
Yeah,
they're
we definitely can go through those strategies in our small group. Definitely bring
yeah,
those forward, Sahal.
yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And what is your one goal over the short term?
On the short term, I mean, I'm looking at the long term. To be honest with you, freedom, right? At the end of the day, helping people out, that that they can have a, extra income or whatever, and change their lives. That's the main thing.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Sahal, for sharing.
Yeah,
Hello.
thank you.
Welcome, Chris. Would you share us one challenge that you may be experiencing now relating to power gifting, and one goal?
Yes.
Bernard, do you mind
That's all I
asking?
would have though.
Bernard, do you mind asking Chris if he can unmute?
Okay, and if so, I just have to wait. When you did my
You're unmuted, Bernard.
last year, when you did my
You need to
taxes,
unmute.
it showed on. You just looked it up, and it was on my account. I didn't have to course.
Sorry about this. I got distractions here. Chris, you're not able to put a message in the chat possibly or unmute?
But that would be the only one I would have in the other one. That's it.
And Bernard, can you unmute, please?
Okay, so I was just because
I'm
I looked up
unmuted.
and it showed
Thank you.
another
So,
one. So I was just wondering if that's the one that you're waiting
You could
for.
take the
'cause if
lead,
you
please.
Click on it, it will stay on the bottom. No, there's another one.
Sandra, you muted.
I need you to take the lead now, Bernard. Thank you.
Oh, that's weird. 'Cause it showed on mine.
You
Okay.
can show the video in the presentation. I'd like to remind everyone how important it is to join a small group within our power gifting community.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just
leave
tell
it
you on
for you,
Monday.
Bernard, to
It should
share
be
the video and
by
take the
Monday.
lead.
If it's not, I'll
I'm
wait
not
until
able to
the
speak
year.
right now.
Okay, so I'm going to run through this briefly again. So with power gifting, a lot of people are saying they're struggling to get people in, struggling to get people to join. They feel they're not moving. And it's very simple method that we're using that help the whole system to move. So as a group, we're going to be split into subgroups. And with subgroups, we can basically have one mentor in a group that will help assist, encourage people to get more people in and how to move and eventually how to leap to phase 2, to phase 3, and just really turn this platform around. Because a lot of people started off and thought, oh, this could be quick money. It takes a bit longer. Power gifting is something, it's like having an insurance policy. Today, tomorrow, it's not worth much, but in quite a few years, it's worth quite a lot. Okay, so the first thing we look at is understanding our why. I'm sure most of us, the why is to have extra money, so our children, our family, we can have better. And then as we discussed last week, groups of roughly 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 people, some will be bigger, some will be bigger. And then in the group, we can invite or encourage everyone to invite one person to power gifting. Not 5, not 10, not 100, but just one. And then we get them in the group and we encourage them to do exactly the same. We can have a lot of resources that will help you, teach you, encourage you to do that. So we're basically going to introduce you, invite you to the group, and then we can show them how we do it, what we suggest, maybe brainstorm with a couple of other ideas, and then also help the new member to register and to join the community. So it's not that they join, like some people have felt they joined and they're left out in the cold. There's no one really helping them. One of the biggest things with any platform, and I look at power gifting, I mean, that's my baby. I love it. There's so much potential with it, is to keep people in a group, that people don't just join and then we leave them to do their own thing. So what we're doing here, we're looking between February and July, 6 months, that everyone basically brings one person in. You know, in the group, it might be 6, maybe 8 people that we bring in. Eventually be maybe 12 people a month, which is basically equal 72 members in 6 months. And it's actually quite simple. I've got quite a few different methods that I use, and I'll teach you guys what I use. The rest of you can also say what you've used to help bring people in. I know Festina's good at bringing people in. Linda's good. Aaron's good. I think everyone on the call is actually quite good. And the biggest thing is, as Henry Ford says, keeping together is progress, working together is success, and we all want success. So as we come together here in a group, we can have success. So you have a couple of milestones. Number one, team formation, which you started doing yesterday, last week, talking about it. Number two is have a good strategy. If you've got a good strategy, it will work well. Strategies can change as we go along. We can then evaluate the strategies and then also track the results. There's something that's going to really be good. I've also got quite a few other methods that I've been using, and some of them are really good. Some of them are not that good. So the thing is, with all these strategies, to basically play around with them and see which is the best one that works for everyone. Just going to find the one which I popped up last week.
So point number one, milestone number one, if anyone has not been able to join a small group from last week, if you could raise your hands, because Coach Bernard and I would love to help you find those other members to link arms with you. So please raise your hands if you have not been able to join a small group as of yet. Thank you. You're in my group, Linda, and you can see our small group. We created a WhatsApp group to stay in touch with each other regularly. So check your WhatsApp, Linda, and you'll see our group there. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
No problem. So everyone's plugged in here. That's awesome. And like I just mentioned, if you haven't already, start yourself your own little mini channel. It could be on Telegram, Facebook Messenger. It could be on WhatsApp. This way you get to share ideas. You can touch base with how you can meet once a week or twice a week, how often. You can have a group call, and you're really plugged into each other's happenings, really. Supporting one another. If someone's got a question about crypto or how to set something up or something's not working, that small group is there to strategize and problem solve. Bernard's going to share some of his messages that he's sent out to people in the past. Leave that with you there, Bernard.
Okay, so these are different wordings that I've played around with. So this is what I've sent to different friends of mine that were struggling, and they've used these. So the one that said, discover Coach Bernard can guide you in transforming a mere $8 into steady income, or recurring income. Explore the possibilities beyond a cup of coffee and a muffin. Consider the potential to retire comfortably. Unlock this opportunity by registering the following link, and that's a power gifting link. So most of them all go around the $8, which is a cup of coffee and a muffin. I've seen people that go between 3 and 5 cups of coffee, a muffin a day. And if they took one of them that didn't have it, and they put the $8 into power gifting, within a couple of years, they'd have an amazing income. It's not going to happen overnight, which most people expect everything to do. And if you look within, say, 2-3 years, you can be sitting back and smiling, thinking, I know I didn't do it earlier. So these are just a couple of little phrases that they've used. I mean, I often say to people, to me, I still use this nowadays. I say to friends of mine, clients of mine even, I say, I've been practicing doing these presentations. I know you give me an honest opinion. I don't want you to join whatever happens. I want you just to give me feedback on it. And some of them have said, oh, it's actually quite nice. A few of them have actually gone back and said, actually, no, I've got a couple of points for you. And they point out, maybe you should do this, maybe you should say this. And those ones that do it, I know really listen to it, and they're ready to join. And that's just my strategy that I use. And I say to my friends, other people that are also linked with it, I say, use the same terminology. Say, a friend of mine is practicing doing these presentations. Will you please have a listen to it and maybe give advice where you think you could change things or where he's doing it wrong? And that's my strategy. Who's got something to add to that?
That's awesome. Excellent. Linda, do you mind sharing one of your TikTok posts or one of your posts on what you write? What do you share? If you have it handy.
I get on TikTok, but I don't know how to do this there with you fellas. I go on TikTok and there's a plus sign. I press on that, then I go on my pictures, and I got all kind of different pictures from the sites that we're doing. And then I put a lot of pictures together, then put some music with it, so that enthused them. And then I even had the one, a few that I had, this is how we make a legend. And a lot of different stuff that I put on. Then I cut it and put another one, so it still keeps going all the time. If you go on TikTok, maybe you'll find me. And same thing, LinkedIn. I don't know what I'm doing, but I went up to 200 something, and everybody's starting to want to look at it. And
Are you getting
so,
comments or questions?
yeah.
Excellent. Maybe you could share your profile with us and we could even share it out. That's another way we share each other's posts.
Yeah, but that's what on Facebook, Aaron, I do a lot of his and he does a lot of mine. We share our stuff and then we comment on it. So to keep the algorithm going. And Aaron, he still needs to be in the group, I guess. He lifted up his hand a while ago. Aaron, you're muted.
I am unmuted. You're very right there. I don't think it was suggested last week, but I didn't pick it up because I had to assist my wife with something else rather urgently. So yeah, I haven't got myself a group as such.
So Sandra could help and coach. Find
Well,
Yep.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
just message me on Telegram.
Okay.
That'd be great.
All right. Okay.
So what we've
Awesome.
spoken so far, is there any questions, comments? Bernard, I'm going to have to pass it on to you.
Okay. Guys, any questions?
Not for me.
My question is, let me know when it's around because sometimes I miss it.
Yep, can do that. Christina, I'm sure you got something to say.
In the end of the day, to get something done, you've still got to do it. And I am following let's call him a celebrity. You either love him or you hate him. And he's very harsh. And I really, really enjoy it because, you know, I think sometimes we've just got to get it done. We've just got to do it. whether we feel like it or don't feel like it, if it rains or if it's too hot or we want to have a braai, or we've just got to do what we've got to do to get the job done. That's all. That's the only thing that really works is just do it. Nike got it right. Just do it.
Definitely.
Yeah, right.
I love it. Thank you, Festina. Absolutely. At the end of the day, that is truly it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite sayings. Like Nike, just do it.
Mhm.
That's
So,
why me, I stick with the power gifting. I don't try to get in nothing else, because that takes your time off of this nice community. So that's my point anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, with power gifting, people don't realize there's more money than any platform long term. And I mean, when I started doing the figures, I thought, wow, I mean, that's really amazing.
My question here is how, okay, we're all in a small groups now, and we've got some strategy, but still, to get the bigger exposure into the marketplace, guys, see the big picture. How does one really get that big picture? Yeah, yes, we've got a market. Is there a sort of a strategy or something that we can think of together that we can say, right, this week we're gonna focus on this ad, and we all do the same thing to try and get as much exposure in the marketplace as possible. Would that not be an idea?
Definitely. Well, the biggest thing, quote the words of
Yes.
Festina, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And literally going to be exactly the same if we go for reaching people. I mean, I look at phase 3. In my mind, it's impossible. I'll never get it. So what am I doing? I'm focusing, getting one person at a time. Once I've got one person in, get another one in, another one, and then get them to do exactly the same. And by doing that, it's going to grow. So the thing is, I share it wherever I can. As I said, my strategy, I get people, I say, please listen to the video, give me feedback on it, or like different people do. Friend of mine, Bernard, Coach Bernard, he's doing this presentation. Will you listen to it and see maybe where he's going wrong? Give me some advice on it. And I find with that, people actually respond to it. So a lot
That's
of people that wouldn't even listen to it, they now listen to it, they watch it carefully. I mean, some people have really broken it down, and they showed me 10 negatives and 1 positive. And I'm happy with that.
I think they don't feel threatened if you ask them to give feedback.
Well, often I use the terminology, I don't want you to join. I only want your feedback. And I really appreciate it, positive or negative.
I think that's brilliant, really. Yeah.
And one of the strategies I'm going to be working on over this next is asking people what they have in place for retirement. The question that I want to hear from them, or the answer I'd like to hear from them, is, what does retirement look like for you? And I'm going to listen to for their answers, whatever that might be, and truly listen what their heart is saying, what they're really dreaming for or yearning for. And then I'm going to let them know that in Canada and the US, it takes 1.7 million to comfortably retire when one turns 65. And I'll leave that with them. And I'm just going to ask them if they have a plan to achieve that level of retirement savings. see what they say. So that's one suggestion for you as well, that I'm going to be trying this week. I'm going to go back to my small group and let them know how I've done with that and with how many I've been able to speak to, and do that second or third milestone of changing it up or getting feedback from my small group on how they think it could be improved.
One thing I just want to add on to it also, where when Power Gifting first started off, a lot of people wanted to be sponsored in, and I thought $8, not a problem to sponsor them in. Now, if you want to be sponsored in, still no problem. You need to go on Zoom calls, you need to watch presentations, and I'm going to ask you questions about it. If you understand it, I'm happy to sponsor you in. Until you understand it, not a chance. Any other strategies, guys?
That's awesome. Well, if there's no further questions or feedback at this time, we wish you a great week in your small groups. May you have fun. May you get together and truly get to know each other. And with that sense of knowing you're all here for the same purpose, building community, growing this amazing power gifting strategy, community, economy together. Thank you for taking your time today and joining Bernard and I. We look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You for the good answers you're giving us anyway.
You're welcome.
All about teamwork.
Amen.
And we'll post this on the recording section of